Welcome to the 12th episode of my podcast, Open Conversation. I'm your host, Bella, and today going to be speaking about music, specifically, uh, primarily about different topics that surround rap, hip hop, R&B, music labels, and stuff of that matter. So, um, again, just heads up on exactly what I'm gonna be talking about today, and let me get right into it. Uh, yeah. So first topic, my top five favorite rappers slash producers of all time. Um, you know, there's definitely a lot of great ones out there. So I'm gonna give my top five, and I'm probably name some honorable mentions of some people I like in general, nonetheless. You know what I'm saying? But in the top five, not necessarily in specific order. Just go run down my list. It's just my personal top five. So start. I'm gonna say Kanye. Um, he's in my top five, and you look at you know um, his production specifically with his first two albums, College Dropout and Late Registration, what he produced, I believe, just about all the tracks, and he was rhyming on all the beats and stuff like that. Like, um, I definitely just think that he's great at both of those crafts and those positions. Even when you talk about even on features, you know, he's had a history of also just like producing on other people's records, giving his verse, on top of the other artist's verse and stuff like that. And, he's just been, again, still great at both. Um, so yeah, Kanye, gotta put him up there. Then second, next person I'm gonna go with Pharrell. Um, another dope. I don't even think a lot of people really too hip to how great just a rapper, because Pharrell, he sings, but he's a dope rapper too. So, you know, you talk about his first album, In My Mind. Um, he produced just about all those tracks. I think did some with Neptune with Chad, and how he was doing the production, and then he had rap on a lot of the on a lot of the tracks and as he sings, but Pharrell got bars, man. Even just throughout his career, you know what I mean. He'll produce tracks for artists, and he'll rap over and rhyme over the tracks, and he always does his thing. In my opinion, I think he's you know underrated in that craft in terms of his rapping ability. I think he gets most his praise for his production and his singing and songwriting and stuff like that. But I think he is really good at rhyming as well. Um, then next person I would had to say in my top five is Tyler the Creator. Um, Tyler, he's another one. He does, you know, he produced a lot of the tracks when earlier in his career with the Our Future, even to this day. Um, and he rhymes, man. He can really rhyme. Uh, he definitely, um, much like Pharrell and even Kanye, because Kanye sings on, he has records where he sings, but Tyler, he has his, as he's career, he's done tracks where he sang and you know very how can I say ambidextrous and versatile with his artistry, but as a rhyme, like straight up rhymes and raps. Tyler can rap with the best of them. You know what I mean? When you look at his discography, man, he can rhyme with the best of them, and he can produce tracks with the best of them. So definitely got for me, Tyler's in my top five. Uh, Next person I'll say is Travis Scott. Another person to me always has dope production, dope beats. He produced a lot of tracks for a lot of artists um, in the game, and obviously he raps too, and he's really good at that. And you know, like all his you know his discography. Um, Travis produces tracks on there, or at least I know he helps with the production side. If he's not like the primary producer on the track, I know he always assists on that end, and he's a dope rapper. Um, so he's done that for other artists as well, where he's produced tracks and rapped and he was sounding dope. And so yeah, so I got to put Travis in there. Then last person I'm gonna say is Q-Tip. Um, I think Q-Tip, generally speaking, he gets more recognition for his rhyming and rapping, um, and not so much his producing. He's a great producer. He's produced a lot of tracks, produced for a lot of great artists, Nas, and to name one of them, and others, Mob Deep, and he just been dope to me in terms of his rhyming skills, as well as his production. And I think he should get recognized for that. Being great in those areas. Uh, so yeah, that rounds out my top five. Some honorable mentions I would have to mention that I think is dope. J. Cole, he's great at producing and obviously rhyming. Earl Sweatshirt, he's great. I thought that Pure Born, he's another. Juicy J, um, Baby King, he's dope. Yeah, there's just a couple of elements that I think out there that's dope with the producing and rapping. So yeah, shout out to y'all, man. Next topic, my top five singers of all time. So first, we're gonna start off with Michael Jackson. I think to me personally, the greatest music artist of all time to date. That's just my personal opinion. Uh, just his voice is just just a one of one, uh, iconic, uh, smooth, versatile, pitched high lows and getting the different pockets with his vocals. Um, yeah, Michael is definitely you know just one of those distinct artists. When you're talking about his voice and his pitch, um, yeah. Then next, I would have to say Sade. Um, she just has one of those real distinct, angelic, but just like kind of like a deep voice in some sense, but it still sounds feminine. Um, so it's just very unique in my opinion. And then you know, it just she just got such a distinct voice and it's smooth, man. She really sings on some smooth beats, smooth production, man. And so uh, I put her in there. Then next, I'm gonna say Anita Baker. Anita Baker, just got a very soulful voice, strong, powerful voice, as well as it's like smooth as well and angelic. Um, can raise pitches, and she's just great. Uh, she's really one of them one of ones of all time. Um, my next person, I would say, and I don't, maybe for music listeners who really listen, they may know. I don't think she gets enough pub and recognition as much as I think she should, but I'm gonna have to say Patrice Rushen just got a very soft, angelic, smooth voice. Um, Again, very distinct. I've really never heard anybody kind of wear a similar voice like hers. So, which is a good thing because like when her records go on and her voice is singing, you can automatically kind of know it's her. Um, so uh, yeah, Patrice Rushen, super dope, and she's very great at production too. Very multi-talented. But yeah, Patrice Rushen, she's great. Definitely a go. Then lastly, I gotta go with Whitney Houston. Her voice is just, you know, very, very, very strong. Can go up a very high levels. Um, Soft and smooth. Um, I mean, what is this? Whitney's just great. I mean, that's guy gift kind of voice. I mean, all of these people I named got God gift, but Whitney is just really, she's another one of them ones. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, that rounds out my top five. Honorable mentions. Uh, Gotta go with Janet Jackson. Uh, um, who's another great singer. Usher, man. Usher definitely got a very great distinct. Oh, Chris Brown. Chris Brown. Chris Brown is just one of them ones, man. Um, Phyllis Hyman. Um, it's a lot of great singers, man. Yeah. So uh, that closes that. So next topic, favorite my favorite music label of all time. Um, I'm gonna have to say Rockefeller. Rockefeller Records with Dame Dash as the head of it, and Dame, Biggs, and Jay. You know what I'm saying? That trifecta is definitely a one of one. Um, how they came to promise and success is definitely a very distinct story. Really want to see them th- that biopic, a movie about the Rockefeller movement. That I mean, it's only right. In due time, it will happen. I believe they just got to get the right people to help shoot that and make that a reality. I will, Dame, all y'all, Jay, if y'all need some help, Biggs, I got y'all. You know what I mean? I definitely help if I, what I'm saying, with producing all that, and what I'm saying, whatever, acting, whatever y'all need. You feel me? But you know, they started off um obviously trying to get a record deal from labels, and most labels didn't really wasn't didn't think that they were gonna be they didn't really connect with their music, or they movement, first starting off, they didn't think Jay was that dude. Jay, Jay Z, the person we now say is the greatest of all time. What, close to 30 years, they said he wasn't that dude. You know what I mean? So they said, hey, look, we might as well just do it on our own. So, and that's, I definitely connect with that. You know what I'm saying? I've been in similar situations of that nature where it's like, well, they ain't gonna rock with me. They not accepting me. Shoot, I might as well just do it on my own. You feel me? So, um, they invested in themselves. Um, Jay held the fort down for as they became when they started out. Bill Rockefeller added some new artists over the years with Beans and um, State Property and uh, Dipset and uh, Kanye and Trust Blaze and Young Guns, all these different guys. Noriega was on the label at a point in time, and they was selling records, man, and you know they just they style, they what they stood for, their movement, how they how they were moving, doing things. I really was inspired by what they were doing, and it's one of them things where it's like that was just like a one of one. I don't think it'd be done. How they did it. You know what I'm saying? It's really one of them unique, distinct stories. How Rockefeller came to promise, the talent on they roster. You know what I mean? With Jay, obviously, Dame, his incredible business savvy, Big's incredible business savvy, Kanye's incredible talent and artistry, Cameron's swag and rap, Jim Jones, Joel's, all them Beans, and you know, they just, to me, man, they influenced me growing up and until this day. So, um, yeah, man, shout out to the Rockefeller, what I'm saying, movement. Y'all still inspired, many of us to this day, even though, it's not it's not, a current label, you know what I'm saying? But their label still is inspiring to folks like myself. So yeah, next topic. Who was the best producer at Rockefeller? Obviously, when you're talking about Rockefeller and producers and production, generally you have two names come to mind in most cases. I know Bink, and there's some production. They had other producers, and great. But generally speaking, it's usually just Blaze or Kanye in terms of who most people would say is, who is the best um, in terms of producers at Rockefeller. Um, I personally would say during the tenure at Rockefeller, during that time frame at Rockefeller, I believe it was just Blaze. My personal, I think just had obviously Kanye had dope, great soul joints and just like cultural, just records, H to the Izzo, and just what he did with the blueprints and et cetera, et cetera. We know what Kanye has done, but I just think just had some like them real, just like I don't know, and like timeless anthem, just just records that just to me just stood out, just crazy. You don't know, and what we do, and et cetera, et cetera. Like I think just in his productions, you like for me, you know, Kanye went on the drink champs and said, debating, he said just took his sound, that like that. I mean that Kanye, that's his opinion, but to me, I think Just had his own. Yeah, they did sound. They both make like soulful type sample beats type thing. But I think for me, like I kind of always knew when it was a Just Blaze production joint. I always know, just kind of based on just um, the drums and just like the sound. It's like I always kind of like know when it's a Just Blaze type beat or whatever. Yeah, man. I think during that tenure at Rockefeller, I think Just Blaze was the better producer. He was the best producer at Rockefeller at that time. Um, overall career, I think Kanye, may not may had the better career in terms of production. You talk about overall who Kanye's worked with, and maybe his whatever we want to say, but I just think at that time, uh, at Rockefeller specifically, during that tenure, Just was the best producer. So, next topic. Which rapper had the greatest prime in their career? See, it's a couple people I want to mention, and obviously I'm gonna name the one I think obviously had the best. But when you're talking about just runs prime, like during their height, you know what I'm saying? Their highest, point in their career, prime, whatever. I mentioned 50's run. 50's, was you want to say 2000, 2005 kind of run. That was legendary. You got to mention, Jay, like what say like 96 to '03 type prop, not even 96, probably like because that 96 when Jay first started, but when he got like really really pop, by the masses type thing, and all that, like probably was what 2000, 2003, I don't know, something, 99, 2003. um great prime, and um uh then you got Drake. He's still in his prime. Who know? It just it's still somewhat even debatable, because Drake's still on a run. Um, but all things aside, my personal opinion, um, I feel like the greatest prime career rapper in their prime, like could nobody mess, like the hottest of the hottest ever, is Lil Wayne. Like from like '05 to about '09, '10. I mean, Wayne was on everything. He was, selling the most records, and everything. Every feature was a Wayne. He was on every feature. Every feature. His albums was platinum in week. Carter 2 was platinum in the Carter 3. Sorry, my bad. Carter 3 platinum in a week. Like he was on another level. You know what I mean? And just then his rhymes, and he was just incredible. I don't think anybody to date um, could really match with that prime, like that Wayne, where his head was at that time period. Like I don't think there has ever been a rapper to like be on that level during his, in terms of prime. Like Wayne, for people who was there at that time would let you know, like, it was Wayne was on another level. Even at in terms of that time period, and then even when you compare it to other rappers in their prime, I think Wayne had the greatest, hands down. Um, yeah. So yeah. Next topic. My top 5 favorite R&B artists of all time. Definitely, I'm very big on R&B, and first start off with Mary J. Blige. She's just a goat, man. She just a goat. She just got some of them records that really, them classic, timeless records, and she sings with so much power and strength, and she just got good records, and I just love Mary J. No Mary J. slander is allowed in my presence. Mary J. is the GOAT. You know what I mean? Next, I'm gonna go with Aaliyah. Um, there's one of them unique artists, one of one. Period. Whether she could sing dope on R&B beat type joints, or even hip hop joints. You know what I'm saying? Hooks she was dope. Songwriting, her singing, Aaliyah was just a goat. She just her style, just her personal style, her style, her how she dressed, and a lot of my I get a lot of my personal style and swag from Aaliyah. Actually, she's a female, she's a woman. You know what I'm saying? But she was that swaggy. You know what I'm saying? Then next, I'm gonna have to go with Erica Badu. The soul. She just dope on the soul, just soulful, eccentric. I just like her aesthetic, her style. Um, she just can sound dope on, like, she's got dope. She sound good on R&B beats. She can sound good on hip hop beats. Um, Erica Badu is just like a very unique artist, and has a very unique voice and sound. And I just always been a big fan, man. So shout out to Erica Badu. Next on my list, I'll have to go with Alicia Keys. Um, the super talented Alicia Keys, beautiful Alicia Keys. Um, you know, she's a great producer as well, very great. She and a pianist, but she just makes great music. Makes music that soulful, hip hop swag. Just um, informative, uplifting music. Um, I just, she's just great, Alicia Keys. Um, she's been able to this day, she's been making music, for over 20 years, and she still is great. And I can tell she still has a passion for it, because I see her working with younger artists like a Khalid, a Brent Fayez. Um, so she just goes to show her ability to be versatile, open minded, and you know, yeah. Lastly on my list, I'm gonna have to say is Jill Scott. Yes, Jill Scott, the soulful Jill Scott. Um, Great voice. She's one of them artists when Jill Scott's on the record. She sounds good on hip hop beats, R&B beats. Um, very good storytelling with her songs, and you know intellectual, and just powerful with her music. Um, yeah, and I gotta go. Honorable mentions to mention would be uh, artists like a Chris Brown. Um, you know, Chris Brown's great. Um, there's another honorable mention. I'd say uh, Rihanna. Rihanna's super dope. Um, Beyonce. Uh, all these artists are great. But yeah, that rounds out my top five of my top five favorite R&B artists of all time. Current current favorite R&B artists. Some of the R&B artists I like to listen to. Got great voices, good messages, unique style. Gonna start off with Summer Walker. She's definitely dope. Um, Great voice, man. She's one of them ones, man. She's one of them ones. People want to say she's toxic and all this other stuff, and whatever. People want to say whatever, but she's one of them ones. When what I'm saying, her music is dope. Uh, she got some good features, and she's dope on the hooks. Um, and she's very authentic and transparent with her music. I think she doesn't get enough um, recognition about that. People want to say, "Oh, she's toxic. Oh, what's she doing?" Hey, she's real. She's giving you her real self and what's going on. Not many people do that. That's what makes her unique. So she's somebody I listen to. Uh, Ari Lennox is another dope uh, R&B artist I've been listening to for you know recent years. Obviously, her work with Dreamville, her solo projects, and she just dropped one of her albums recently. Great project. She got a very dope song called Queen Space on it. It features Summer Walker on it. Great record. Definitely recommend listening to it. Very up, the vibe is just dope. And so, yeah, she's definitely somebody, one of the younger, recent, current R&B artists I listen to. Next, I would say, Brent Fayez. He's dope. He got a very unique voice, um, very angelic. Uh, you know, he's a versatile artist too. He can do R&B, kind of like production. He can do hip hop too. Um, and he's very authentic too. I like he's the fact he's very um, authentic. He's transparent with who he is and his messaging. And yeah, I'm a big fan of Brent Fayez. Another another artist listen to is Bryson Tiller. He's super dope. Um, I just like he has a dope voice, and he's dope with the R&B and the hip hop. But he obviously he coined that phrase, the trap soul. So he sounds dope on like the trap kind of sound, trap beat type stuff too. So that's kind of like how Bryson Tiller really, in some sense, made a very unique, style about him, you know. So uh, I think he's definitely somebody I like to listen to, man. And his recent project he came out with was good. And then another artist I like listening to is Ellie Mae. She got a very unique voice that's dope to me. Um, she she's dope with the hooks. Um, she always sounds really good on Mustard production. I like her joints with Mustard. But yeah, she's super dope to me. I like her songs, and yeah, another artist I like to listen to is her. She's super dope, great voice. She's you know I think she does production too, but yeah, but she's a super dope voice, and she like has some really good records. Her recent projects have been great. Um, yeah, man, I just like her. I like her style. I like her swag. She has a very unique essence to her, you know. Um, and yeah, man, her is super dope. I definitely like her music. Another artist uh, I like listening to another, is Janae Aiko. Uh, she's super dope. Got a very soft voice and unique and distinct voice. Um, but she has a level of aggression to it that's kind of dope that I think, and it kind of like reflects in her music. And she's very transparent with her with with her music. I think she's very authentic with her music. Um, and she got a good sense for production because like when I listen to her music, her production is usually dope to go with it. So she's another artist I really like to listen to. And then lastly, artist is Snow Allegra. Um, her voice is amazing. She makes great music. She her recent project came out, I think, 2 years ago. I don't know, but it was dope. Um, great project. The Open Your Eyes with Pharrell. That's a great record. She's got a really good. She has a very dope voice to me. She's very dope. Um, so yeah, that's just this is some of the recent and R&B artists that I like to listen to. Uh, next topic. My top my top five rap lyricists of all time. First, start off with Jay Z. Um, his ability to make his own raps, obviously mentally, and just verbalize it over the tracks uh, is a one of one, and it makes sense. And the wording, how he used words and he bends words and um, very um, distinct and unique. Um, his ability, just you know, his rhyming formats and his pockets and stuff like that. His storytelling at times, and Jay's super dope. Um, Next, I would have to say Nas. Nas is definitely Definitely a great lyricist. You talk about songs like "I Gave You Power" and the format of that record and the metaphors and you know just super dope and how he used the gun as a metaphor and his storytelling like songs like uh, "Second Childhood" on Stillmatic, you know, and then just rhyming words and putting certain words together that you like, oh wow, he rhymed that. Like Nas is really one of them ones. Next I'm gonna have to say J. Cole. Um, J. Cole, man, from I've been a J. Cole fan from day one, you know what I mean? His ability to just rhyme and I feel like when you listen to the Cole, you really can really feel his music, like his raps. You know what I mean? But he got them punchlines that you be like, man, he really got that. He really got that one. Listen to Cole. Um, I think one of my recent joints is I forget that I forgot um the name on is a recent project that he dropped. I forgot the name of the song, but his rhyme formatting on it was just so crazy. Got the name of the song, but um, his rhyme formatting is crazy. He was rhyming words at the end of the sentence, at the end of the bar, in the middle of the bar, and sometimes in front of the bar, and it was just rhyming and it was making sense, and it was like wow. So he's amazing. Next, I would have to say is Pusha T. Um, his ability to rhyme is just like it's just crazy, and to rhyme certain words and um, I think one thing I really like about Pusha's his metaphors. Like he'll use certain lines and metaphors to make sense of his bars that's like, oh wow, like you took that and baked that like and made meaning and sense out of it. Like, oh wow, like that was dope. You know what I mean? Definitely one of those like kind of go over your head type of things. You gotta really re-listen. You gotta really listen to Push. You gotta and re-listen and re-listen. That's how it is with Pusha. Like for me, you gotta listen and re-listen to when you're talking about lyricists because they usually have entendres on top of entendres, and maybe you have certain metaphors that they're saying that you have to re-listen. Like, oh, what I'm saying? You get one meaning, and maybe you might get another meaning. Then another listen, you listen to the bar type of thing. So Pusha, yeah, he's definitely in there for me. Then lastly, to round it, I'm gonna say Biggie. Um, Biggie, much like Jay, he could do he rapped off the dome, um, and his rhyme formatting, his punchline. I think Biggie is the greatest punchline rapper of all time. Honestly, like his punchlines is there's nobody who can contend with it. Obviously you got great ones. Jay got great punchlines, and all the list of people I named got punchlines. But I think Biggie had the best punchlines. That is like you can't even imagine. Um, with his storytelling is great. Um, so yeah, some honorable mentions. Talking about great lyricists of all time. At least for me, Jay Electronica. Um, Andre 3000, Eminem. I was even just going on a tangent. Lauren Hill. Yeah, there's a lot of great rap, lyrics of all time. But that's my top five. Um, Next top, my favorite music projects from this year. So I'm gonna just list some joints I really stood out, or I like really liked and listened to thus far this year. Um, I'm gonna start off with the Great Escape with Larry June and The Alchemist. That's been that just recently came out. I think last week or so, and yeah, it's been on repeat, re-listen since. And Alchemist is always amazing on the production and cinematic with his production style, and Larry gonna come with the bars and the style and the swag, you know what I mean, and put up numbers as he says, you know what I'm saying, and you know I just really like the pairing of them two. I really hope y'all to make this a thing that more projects to come in the future for y'all, and it had great features like Bodie, Currency, Jay Worthy. Obviously those are some of my also, guys I sit on before I really like listening to. Um, so yeah, it was a great pairing, great album, great project. The marketing of it, the cover art and stuff of the project's been dope, and so oh, yeah, Big Sean was on one of the joints, was on the album too. Evidence. So yeah, it was a great project. Recommended it for sure. Um, then the next joint I definitely say is "Surfer Drown" by Hit Boy. Definitely to me was a good project. Obviously, it's Hit Boy, great production. Uh, and I actually, actually forgot to, and I should have had Hit Boy in my the rapper producer combo. If not in the top five, but I should have honorable mentioned him. But he's definitely somebody who is underrated for his rapping ability. Like I've always was like thought that he was a dope rapper. He obviously he's great at the producing production, and he has the catalog of hits, stuff like that. Uh, on the production side, but on the rhyming side, I think he can rhyme with anybody. Like Hit got bars, and he showed it with the Surfer Drown project. He had bars on it. He he experimented with his sound a bit, I think, in terms of his production, and he's got people hit, man, to where he's at with his with his life, and I just thought the project was dope, man, and so looking out for more, of course, from Hit Boy in terms of his project and music, and then uh, last other project that I you know caught my ear was Victims and Villains with Music Soul Child and Hit Boy producing the album. It was dope. Very unique, kind of like obviously with the name of the album, Victims and Villains. Um, and it was a thematic. So the so the album kind of like had that kind of, that was the theme of all the like the records on the album. Victims and villains, and obviously a unique pairing with Music Soul Child and Hit Boy. I know that was like kind of quote unquote out of the box or type of thing. I'm not sure of them ever working together prior to this, but I thought it was great. I thought the pairing was great. The production was great. The music was good, and yeah. So yeah, those are the three projects that I from this year that I liked and I listened to and will recommend for y'all to check out and listen to. That's top. My top five female MCs, rappers of all time. Um, I would have to start off with Lil Kim. Um, Lil Kim, I just really like her style, her delivery, her swag on tracks and records, especially when she, first came out. Um, that energy was her energy on records, her flow. Um, obviously her flow is very reminiscent of Biggie, but I think she held her own on records and you know gave her own style. You know what I mean? It was Lil Kim. Uh, obviously the raunchiness of her, her lyrics, kind of, it was very, especially at that time, when she first came out, there was really nobody doing rhyming, the way she was rhyming and just talking about the things that she was talking about. You know what I mean? When you look at, I mean, she's really the pillar and pioneer of all of what. And when you look at the current state of hip hop and female MCs, I mean, that was Kim was doing that in '90s, like literally. You know what I'm saying? Like she was doing all that, all of what everybody they talking about and doing. Kim was doing that. So, but yeah, man, I think Kim is, one of them goats, man. She can rhyme. She's proven in her discography to, rhyme with, men, and hold her own and do her thing. So put, yeah, you know what I'm saying, a little Kim in there. Then next, I'm gonna go with Lauren Hill. She was, Lauren, whether, when she was with, in her career with, with the Fugees, and she was a standout. Everybody knew that she was her rhyming and lyric ability was just above everybody else on the Fugees. Even though the other, Prize and Wyclef, they was great, they was good. Uh, it was good, and nothing to take away from them, no disrespect to them, but even they knew like Lauren was the best MC out of all of them. You know what I mean? And her her ability to rhyme certain words and tell certain stories and give rhymes and metaphors that was like only Lauren could give those kind of metaphors and make sense. And she recently had the joint with on Nas's last project, um, and she was just killing it. She killed her verse, and I don't think she's rhymed like in a minute. I don't know, but you know, it was like it was a standout verse. Like it was like, wow, Lauren's still Lauren. No drop offs and things. She just barring up. With Nas, obviously one of the greatest of all time. So yeah. Next, I'm gonna have to say Remy Ma. Uh, Rem. always had bars. I like Rem since Where the Cash At. I was like, yo, yeah, she's next up. Like she's one of them ones like rhyming with Wayne and Currency. Like she was holding her own, and from then I was like, yeah, yeah, and whether it was with Terror Squad with Fat Joe and Pun, and she she was just she always hold her own, and she just one of them rappers that just got dope punchlines, and you know rhymes is dope, and style and the swag. I always like how Remy carried herself on tracks. You know what I mean? So I got Remy in there. Then next I'd say is Missy Elliott. Missy, always had a unique sense of style, um, with her wordplay and just even her aesthetic and style and dress. You know, definitely super dope. She was always super dope under, not under, but just with her production with Timberland. That combo was just has always been super dope, between them two. And yeah, man, she just had like a unique flow too. She definitely has a unique. I don't think anybody has been able to like you know duplicate Missy's style and flow. Like Missy's style is just so unique, um, and how she deliver her rhymes. You know what I mean? It was always like it seemed like effortless in a lot of ways, and you know type of thing. So yeah. Then next, I gotta say, uh, rounded off the list is Foxy Brown. Um, she just got a dope voice to me, and I always liked her delivery on records. She always kind of like had a smooth but like aggressive kind of delivery to her to her verses and stuff. And she got you know records, just all time records. You know what I'm saying? That really just stood out to me, and her verses on some of them records have always just been standouts for me. She also recently had a verse on Nas's one of Nas's King Diseases projects, whether it was the second or third one of the two, but it was like she killed that her verse, and she hasn't rhymed, and she didn't. I don't think I've heard her rhyme before that recent joint in some like long time, years type thing. And she really held her own on that track, and you know the rhymes was good and all that. So yeah, that's my top five. Obviously, when they some honorable mentions, just obviously Nikki. You got to mention Nikki. Nikki just one of them ones. Go. Um, you got to talk about Left Eye. You know, from TLC. Her verse on Donnell Jones. Um, Say what, one of the greatest verses I've ever heard. Maybe just musically, just how she rhymed it, just was like wow. Uh, Meg The Stallion, she's a goat. I give Meg can rhyme. She can really rhyme, and I like her energy on records. She got a strong energy on the joints. Um, Rap City, Rap City's one of them ones. She's a goat. Um, Eve, her time with Rough Riders, and you know Queen Latifah, and the list goes on and on. You know what I'm saying? So many great ones. But yeah, man, that's my top five, and yeah, man. Uh, so that ends today's episode, man, and thanks for y'all tuning in and listening, and hope y'all, of course, able to learn some things, and you know hope would like y'all to for sure check out some of these artists I mentioned. They are definitely great at their craft, and so yeah, man. Until next time, y'all have a good one. Be blessed.